Alrighty. IE's back. Let's check out this replay. So, we got Glacier. Top tier with the Batchat, thank you, babe. Can you just break the bread inside it, please? Okay. I'm not gonna eat now, because I'm gonna put this on YouTube. Alright, we got the Batchat. I know, as usual, I'd recommend, if you got a tank that's somewhat fast, you go in the middle. Thanks, babe. You go in the middle and try to get like a couple of side shots. Even this tank might be like reloaded by the time you go in the mid, because they will have like 30 seconds, 35 seconds reload time. So the mid, I think, is like the best starting point for the Glacier, It's pretty much like Pokorovka if you think about it, Middle, both sides. Yeah, from the mid you can just control the map. He's already like doing good. Going towards the mid map. One thing I could say about this tank is I think on this particular tank you should either go like full gold ammo or like full AP ammo, because the difference between the gold and the standard ammo is not very big, right? Because like you got 232 AP, which is, let's say, decent for a tier 9 tank. It's gonna like pen armor decently. Also got like 263 APCR. This is probably gonna be horrible against angles, right? Like it's not really like a big difference, like what, 30 millimeters in difference penetration, but AP is gonna ping angled armor a lot easier. APCR won't. So I don't necessarily recommend like combining ammo with this. You could just like go with one. I think I got like full AP ammo on mine, so actually, it's just a side thing I wanted to like mention with this thing. That was like pretty risky and unnecessary, to be honest. You could have easily just peeked here a little bit, and spotted while being safe. Could have gotten shot on the side a lot, and the Steve4 could shoot you right now, so that was very unnecessary. Also, I don't understand why you're like playing the scout role here. The Batchat 25 is not really that fast. And you could die at any time. You could be like sitting here clipping tanks and spotting at the same time, but you're just moving around the map for some reason. I don't understand why. Batchat tanks in general are like good scouts, but 25 AP is kind of slow, so it's not something you want to be doing with this tank. And you attacking from this is possibly like the worst thing you can do, because everybody's gonna see you. And I'd be surprised if this only doesn't pen you with high explosive right now. Again, it should be attacking where this like IS is doing, Not from the middle here. You were spotted, I guess. He basically just, started the battle nicely. He went to the mid, and then just threw away an entire clip of damage you could have gotten here. Because he had so many tanks crossing. You got T-29, you got Carro, you got Oni, you basically threw away an entire clip of damage you could have gotten right at the start of the game. Because he felt the need to like spot like a scout when he could have just as easily peeked there. Don't understand why. Well, it's good to like push this to a T-26, One thing you should do with autoloaders is like try to pick up lone targets. Don't understand why not finish him up though. That was like totally unnecessary. You could have just like finished him. Don't know why like he decided to wiggle back and forth, because he was already loaded. And he could have shot you again, so if you're gonna wiggle back and forth, at least stay in a position where you can still shoot him. Because you're gonna take shots anyways. So that was like kind of unnecessary at the end. If I was you, I'd, still like go back and try to clip the guys in the middle. You were missing out on a lot of damage. Yeah. Also, the enemy team have probably like pushed it in high numbers on 9-0 line. You don't know yet. Another thing you could have done is like try to sneak up in the middle, where the super Pershing is. Yeah. The last thing you want to be doing is like what you're doing right now. Trying to push in through open field while enemy team could be like right here. You know, there's no need for that. You could like spot them just as fine from here or like, I don't know, from there. There's no need to like go all the way in. Because like, don't forget you got tanks in the middle that could spot you at any time. So what you're doing right now is completely unnecessary and very risky. There's no need for it. Yeah, like I said, you've been missing out on a lot of damage. You could have easily had like 2-3 clips of damage by now with your tank. Just from the middle, no? All like close shots. It already like a waste of time to keep blind shooting after him. If you see like you're not hitting anything, so... I wouldn't recommend to keep like pushing the right side. Yeah, the best thing to do right now is to try to attack from here, because you're gonna go straight under them. You definitely don't want to be pushing this side. First of all, I don't recommend anybody to like be playing this side up here. You know, it's useless. You don't gain anything and you get shot from everywhere. So the best thing you could do right now is like try to push straight towards him and try to get under the hill so you could spot for his team. And you know, you could also like kill the T-29. And he spotted the tortoise. I don't understand why you're not trying to take any shots on the tortoise though. Good shots on the Oni. And I believe the tortoise is like still in the open. You shouldn't have, you know, once you saw the tortoise driving here, you should have just climbed up straight away and started shooting him. Because it's not often you see like the side of a tortoise, you know. It's like probably the most important enemy you got on this particular matchup, so you should have started shooting the tortoise when he was with his side. Yeah, I don't know why he didn't do it. For some reason he considered like easy shots on the Oni are better, but they're not. If you had to choose between like easy shots on, you know, bottom tier versus easy shots on, you know, top tier enemy tank, you probably want to be shooting the top tier enemy tank. Especially since it doesn't seem like paying attention. And this is why I said I'd recommend going either full APCR or full AP. Because with this tank you're gonna find yourself in these situations where you don't have like enough ammo. So yeah, at this point what you could do is like reload. The Urus is most likely like busy with the Yak Tiger there. You could reload, or at least while you're reloading, I always said whenever you're playing an autoloader and you're reloading, you could try to spot while doing that. So you could easily just go up here right now and spot the Pershing and the 704 and everything for your team. You know, you could just pay attention to the Urus and not take damage in the meantime. What you're choosing to do is go back and kill the Urus, but that's probably the worst play you can do right now, because they got 3 tanks here. And if you push for the Urus, they're gonna smash you pretty good, so yeah, you should have just banked on the fact that all your team is here. And like I said, stick to your team, okay? Especially when like the game is close, stick to your team, don't try to do shit alone. You should have just banked on this fact. All your team is here, you go and spot here, fuck the Urus, you know? The Urus is like far away, not really important right now, you just go and spot this area. So all your team can like shoot with your spotting. Because like the Urus is not really a problem. What is he gonna do, cap in the open? Yeah. It's not really an issue, and besides you can't really attack too easy from this side. You can't really push him, so yeah. Not really the best thing you could have done. And you're probably gonna notice that your team is gonna keep pushing towards the enemy base right now, and they're gonna keep dying, which you could have easily prevented if you were there to spot the enemy team instead of wasting time with the Woodis. Woodis is probably afraid to push anyways because he's alone. I won't expect him to like do anything, so wasting way too much time with a tank that's like kinda irrelevant at the moment. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if you like left by now. Stop pushing. The worst thing you can do is like trying to chase him. Yeah. You don't want to be like pushing this side because you're completely open to get shot from like the middle, the enemy base, everywhere. Yeah, it's really not what I would do. I mean, sure, you can still push and kill him, right? Because you got a clip capacity. But it's very risky, yeah. It's not what I would have done. You've gained a clip of damage from this guy, but you've lost, you know, you've lost a ton of assist damage you could have gotten from here in the meantime. And you also let your teammates die because, you know how randoms are, they just keep pushing forward, herp or derp. I think you like lost 2 teammates already that kept pushing. The bee's knees. So yeah, you should have pushed in and spotted for your team. I know in your mind you thought that you need to go and kill the guy that's, you know, flanking.
Welcome to the bee's knees.
But at the same time you need to try to like think what's more important. Killing one guy that's kind of irrelevant behind your base, right? Or spotting 5-6 enemy tanks that are all very close to your team that you could possibly, you know, your team could kill. I don't know, by spotting them, obviously you're gonna keep your team alive. So yeah, you kind of chose like the worst option here, if I might say. I don't know why he did that, losing health on him. And then again, happens to me too, so. Yeah, there's no need to do this. Like I said before, you could perfectly spot these guys by just YOLOing under the ridge there, you know. And if you go there, these guys can't shoot you either. You already know that there's nobody here because you pushed for the Udas, so you could just easily go there, spot those guys, probably like catch them off guard and clip them. Not really like any point in sitting in the middle anymore. You kinda... This is what you should have done at the start of the game, not now. And you keep wasting time for some reason. Like I said, the Batchat 25 is a mobile tank, but it's not, you know, it's kind of a slow Batchat. You keep wasting time driving all the way around for reasons I do not understand. Yeah. You've just been like way too passive this game and basically brought yourself in a situation where you're down tanks. You know, you just let the enemy team take advantage. It's not really the time for blind shots. Especially in a tank with like high reload time like the Batchat. The last thing you're gonna be doing is blind shooting now, because you don't know who's gonna push you, so... Like I say, you're playing very passive. Let's put it this way. You don't know how to like adapt to the game. You don't seem to know when to be aggressive and when to be passive, right? You should have been like very aggressive at the start and then just continue with that. You were sort of aggressive at the start and now you're like being super passive, which led to your teammates dying, so... And you keep using this corner that's completely useless for some unknown reason. And let me tell you a thing, if there is somebody here, you can't even shoot them, because they're gonna be hiding behind this ridge. So the only thing you're gonna achieve from peeking from this corner is to get killed from that side, okay? So stop using this corner here, because it's not good. You can just as easily, you got a V range on this tank, you can spot from the back, from safe positions. This is not a safe position. So stop using that corner. It's not very good. Oh, lucky the super pushing was pushing. Oh, whoa. That was completely unnecessary, my man. And to tell you why is because you had 3 shots, and the T-34 doesn't do that much damage, right? You could have just as easily tanked a shot, you know, and made sure you kill this guy. You just basically like, took 2 shots for nothing. You could have taken just a single shot and killed them. For what reason, that is beyond me, you decided to keep going back and forth when you could have like killed them with him only shooting you once. I don't know why. Right? You tried to dodge shots and he managed to shoot once again because of that. There was absolutely no reason for you to like do that. He shot, he should have just kept shooting until he killed him, you know? I don't know why he decided to like take an extra shot, it's beyond me. Yeah. And just like I said before, stop using these positions here. They're not worth it, you know? They're not really positions where you got cover. You got so much open ground here in your base, you should be using that. You should be spotting from the bunkers or from there in the back. Or from, I don't know, from... You got a lot of open ground, you're not using it at all. You keep spotting targets in positions where first of all your enemy team can shoot. Right? Cut a 704 off guard nicely there. Very nice work with the D-track. And guess what situation you're in now? Remember when I said again that I would go either full APCR or full AP in this tank is because it doesn't have a lot of ammo. I've been in this kind of situation before. This tank doesn't have a lot of ammo, so like I said, just decide what you want, full APCR or full AP. You should be fine with any of those. Yeah. Well, at this point, I'm not sure it's a good idea to just like herp a derp through the middle, you know? Because the tortoise is still a TD, you know? He might be like rocking some camo or something. I don't know if you're gonna spot him if you just drive like that. No, see? He spotted you too, so... That's kinda sloppy. Well, yeah. I guess the only alternative is right now is to like use the bushes here and try to keep him spotted. Maybe the arty will like... Your teammates can shoot. Okay. Well, the one way you can like push, you know, you can either take your chances like you did right now and try to get close to him. Nah, this is very risky what he did here. It's very risky, but it worked. Yeah, you could have like tried to tank from the top like the Progetto. Progetto just yellowed in for some reason. You could have went in there and like try to shoot a tortoise without being spotted. Or you could have stayed here and like peek, maybe your arty shoots him. What you did was kind of risky, but luckily for you it worked. The tortoise is not a very good player either, so... At this point I should try to go behind him. Shouldn't try to keep wasting time with him. You know, you can tell he's not a very good player because he didn't even try to turn around for you. So at this point I should just try to go around him and clip him, because time is ticking. It's also a good idea to like wait for a teammate to come and take a shot. But he should have moved behind him way sooner. Yeah. You might actually end up and not have any time left. This is very good, like letting the teammate go in first to distract him, you going behind him and clip him. And there's no reason why you should have done that though, especially when you had like 4 shots left. You were very, very, very lucky. Like this is where you could have lost the game super easily. You were very lucky you set the tortoise on fire. Because otherwise like this would have been a draw, so there was no reason for you to like panic those shots. Because the tortoise wasn't looking at you. He was completely, you know, distracted, so that was a super easy way to like to like lose the game. Also, I don't understand why you don't try to like ram him or something. Let's hope the Arctic kills him. Is he? Ah, shit. 1 second left. Yeah. Well, that shot on the tortoise, you know, that you missed, you could have used to kill the Artie. So. Or like, when he saw there's like so little time left, he should have just started driving towards the Artie straight away. Instead of like trying to shoot him from a distance. Because he could have gotten close to him and shot him and rammed him, you know? So, yeah. Your biggest problem from what I'm seeing is you don't seem to know to adapt to the situation. You randomly decide when to be aggressive, when to be... Also, the shot wasn't fully aimed, yeah. You randomly seem to decide when to be passive and when to be aggressive, right? You're not a bad player. The problem is you don't seem to like be using your tank strengths. Numerous times you've wasted situations where you could have clipped tanks and gotten a lot of damage. And you've wasted situations like when you could have like spotted for your team, right? Yeah. So especially in the case of a tank like this, since you're playing like a scout, try to stay with your team. You know, where your team goes, you should be going there too. If you see all your team is here, then you should be like spotting here, you know? Instead of like going in the back and like killing lone tanks. It's perfectly fine to kill lone tanks with this one, right? Because you should be like picking tanks one by one. But this really wasn't the case. You kind of like brought the game to this scenario. Like you could have won this game like 3-4 minutes earlier if you had just like YOLO'd the enemy base and spotted everything. You kind of brought the game yourself to the, you know, possibility of losing it because you weren't aggressive enough. Like this matchup, you could have been aggressive from the very start, no? Go in the middle, clip everything, YOLO fast here, spot everything, clip, you know? For some reason you decided to be passive for no particular reason. Yeah, you still won your fights, you know? Even if you decided to be very passive, you still won the fights you got into, you know, with the lone tanks and everything. But it was totally unnecessary. Yeah. It was totally unnecessary. And one thing, stop trying to like use this as a passive scout because it's not really fast enough. Yeah. If anything, do like passive spotting. Stop using this as an active scout, my bad. Yeah, this is not really fast enough to do active spotting, right? And especially here, you can just easily sit in the middle. Don't need to like drive around all the time. On Prokhorovka, sure, I agree. You know, but here you can spot everything from the one position where the IS is. So yeah. I don't know, your main problem is, like I said, you need to adapt to the situation. And not just like randomly decide when to be aggressive and when to be passive, right? Because that's kind of how you played this one. Yeah. Your situation dictated that you were aggressive all this time. You just like decided to like be passive instead. I don't understand why. Yeah. And also be a bit more careful with your shots, right? I'm all about snapshots, you know that. But a lot of the times you wasted shots. Like on the tortoise here, you also like wasted shots with the T-34 there, and you're taking damage for no reason, no unnecessary damage. Okay. Nah, other than that, I guess, you know, it was decent play. You just need to like pay attention to the game, stick with your team. Alright. I believe it's time for me to eat something. Hello, Rev. How's it going?